Of our cooking segment today, we're going to do a little bougie stuff, okay? We're going to talk about etiquette of fine dining. And if you have any questions, there's no shame to it. I want you to be able to do this at home. And if you can't do it at home, just take your entire family to Gastro and you'll get to experience it just with some ease, okay? And speaking of Gastro, I have the CEO of Gastro as well as the executive chef with me. That's Chef Mami Boachi. She's not been here in a while, so we're glad to have her back. Good morning, Chef
Hello,
Mami.
good morning.
How have you been? What have you been up to?
Good. Just had a baby, brand new baby.
Congratulations.
Back to the restaurant, getting things back in order. So yeah, exciting.
Nice.
But yes, so we're here to talk about restaurant dining, fine dining, or just restaurant dining altogether. I think people make it more than what it is.
Really?
Right?
It looks like a lot.
Yes, so it seems like a lot, but to be honest, right, when you're going out to spend your money, you want to be able to feel comfortable to actually enjoy the meal, correct? Like you want to feel like you got your money's worth, right? But there are certain things that people feel if I'm at a restaurant, I shouldn't do, or I shouldn't say, or I should be a certain way. Yes, you have to present yourself a certain way when you're outside your house anyway, right? But you also have to keep in mind that I'm here to dine, I came to eat, I should eat, right? I should just make sure I'm proper as I'll present myself in front of people. That's about it.
That's it?
Besides that, I think you should be able to be yourself, enjoy your meal that you're paying for.
True. So
You know?
what defines the fine dining experience from our regular food experience?
So, okay, so, and even in fine dining, right, there are different levels of fine dining, right? There's a fine dining where you can go where, okay, the food is really, plated nicely, everything, the setup is, proper dining setting and everything, but you can also just relax and eat. And then you have the fine dining where it's like even the way you place your knife after you take a bite means something.
Wow.
And the server will know, and we'll get to that once we get to the
Let's get
meals.
right into it.
So when you sit and, you go to a fine dining restaurant, there's a napkin, right? You want to grab your napkin.
Okay.
Some ladies, I normally just do my lap.
I've seen people do this. Is that
Some
okay
people
as well?
do that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Again, you may have on a very nice outfit. Usually when I go out with my husband, he does that. Someone might
Shout out to
think
your husband.
you look crazy, but then he doesn't want to get his lovely
shirt messed
white
up, yeah.
shirt that he has on dirty. So there's nothing wrong with that. I usually just do my lap and try to make sure I avoid
Anything get it on your
anything. So yeah, you get your napkin on your lap, and then you get your orders in, and table settings,
Yes.
right? You should know these things. Some places may not have this whole setting. At Gastro, this is the setting that we have.
Okay, so I see the fork starts to my left,
Yes.
and then there's a spoon and a knife.
Yes.
Why is that?
So we have a salad fork or an appetizer fork, and then we have a main course fork. Then we have our spoon for soup or and then you have your main course knife.
Okay.
So when you sit at the table, if you ever come across a table like this and there are not only just a fork and a knife, but this setup, you always start from the outside in.
Ah.
Right? So you're working your way in. So if they were to bring you a salad right now, the fork that you would grab
It's this one.
would be this. If they were bringing you an appetizer or, a starting course, this would be the fork that you would grab.
Okay.
If they were bringing you a soup, a starting soup, this is what you would grab. Now, once you're done, that would be then
Put to the side.
taken away.
Ah.
What server will clear your table and that would be gone. And then now you're left with your main course, fork,
And your knife.
and your knife. Okay.
Nice.
So as they bring the food over, what I was discussing, if the knife is facing in, that means I'm ready to start eating.
Okay. But if it's
Yes.
out,
If it's out, no. So
it's not even supposed to be out.
Yes, facing in means I'm ready to start eating.
Okay.
If you're done eating and you cross your knife like this, that means I didn't like the food.
What?
Okay? If you're done and you place your items like this, that means the food was excellent.
So you even communicate.
Okay,
with
yes.
the utensils.
So this is when it comes to if you go to a place that's extremely fine dining,
Yeah.
they are trained on these things. If I'm eating and I leave my fork like this, my fork and my knife like this on the plate, that means I'm taking a break. I'm pausing.
Okay. So I'm ready to eat.
Yes.
So should we do it
We're
this
ready
way?
to eat.
We're ready. Please
So
bring the food.
And then also another thing that we'll discuss, like wine. You know, you should usually when you pick, if you go to a restaurant and you have a great server, then you can say which wine. You can either ask the server, which wine do you recommend for my dish? But normally with meats, you will lean more towards the red wines. And with seafoods and salads, you lean towards white wine, so that, you know, everything is like blending in very well in your mouth. So what I actually feel like talking about, let's moving on from all this extraness. I think what really matters is if you're at a restaurant, I think you shouldn't worry about all of these things. If you know how to hold a fork, know how to hold a knife,
Eat the food.
Eat.
Okay.
Right?
But how do we eat it?
Your fork
but you haven't
is
had
in
your
your
food
left
yet.
hand.
So you have the white wine. So
I
you're
have
getting
the
this
white
one,
wine,
right?
so I'm taking the shrimp
I'll take the
and
steak.
walnut salad, and you're taking the lamb.
The lamb,
because you have the red
The red.
wine.
Okay. Wow. Can we take a moment to appreciate this meal? let's
So this is a gastro. You can get this
at
at
You have to get yourself to do that at
one
home.
of the best jollofs in town.
Sally,
This is a lovely, healthy salad.
You know when food looks so good, you don't even want to eat it. You just want to appreciate it. So if you go to gastro, you get your beauty. It looks so tender. Like it's
Yes,
what
it's
are we
very
What are we
tender.
looking at, Chef
So
Mama?
right now you're looking at lamb, grilled lamb with a spicy herb chimichurri and carrots, roasted carrots. And then you have our gastro jollof right there, one of the best jollof in town. Over here you have the shrimp and walnut salad with mango, oranges, and Grand Marnier and
Hold on.
hibiscus vinaigrette.
What's Grand Marnier?
So Grand Marnier is a citrus liqueur.
Okay.
So a citrus liqueur with a little bit of cognac, and then we mix it with a little bit of hibiscus syrup, so sobolo syrup.
That's really
vinaigrette.
It's really fine dining. Now,
Thank you.
in some of our homes, we eat salad with like white rice and jollof rice. Is that how you can do that as a
You
main?
can do
or as
that,
a
of
side?
course,
Okay.
of course you can do that. Again, feel free. You're at a restaurant. You're paying for it. Okay, something like this. You have lamb in front of you, correct?
Yes.
Look at all that lovely meat. Now you've cut it. You've gone all the way. Now you see that perfect piece of meat
Please
right
take
there.
the video of me
but
cutting
then
it.
you can't get it with your knife. But you know you pick up the bone. You'll
And you
get it
wanna-
all off.
Should
but
you do
now you
that?
feel I'm on a date. I have to
need
be
to look
cute.
Yeah.
I'm at a restaurant. No, you don't have to.
Even when you're doing
You're
fine
paying
dining.
for it. You should be able to pick it up and eat it. There's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with picking up your meat and eating it. I mean, you're not sitting there being barbaric and, you know, but at least you're you're enjoying it. Trust
gonna
me,
enjoy it.
you're gonna see the waiter pick up the plate, walking away with that big piece of meat left on that bone, and in your head you're wishing, I should have just, you know, exactly.
Chef Mama, this is really nice.
Thank you, thank
Wow.
you. So you should relax when you're at a restaurant. You should relax. Just simple manners, not talking too loud, being courteous of the table next to you. You know, maybe you're having a conversation, you know, you don't want others to hear. That's great. You're having a conversation that's really exciting. You might forget where you're at. You start laughing really loud. You can simply just say, excuse me, or something like that. You know, I think everyone will even realize, oh, they just got caught in the moment.
Yeah.
But to blatantly be at a table at a restaurant, just talking loud, just being inconsiderate of others is just,
No, acceptable.
not proper like restaurant behavior.
Wow.
It's just, and then another thing that I also want to mention, like simple things that us ladies, I realize we tend to do sometimes, and it hurts the restaurant sometimes. As a
Really?
restaurant owner, we come, we look lovely, makeup, lipstick, and then a lovely fine dine restaurant like Gastro will provide you
And then they
this,
put it on their lips.
and then you'll do this, and then the server will come, and
Give you a
then
new one.
all of these things are built in the cost. However, there are simple things that you can do to like maybe just make your experience a little bit more like, okay,
Consider it as well.
yeah, consider it as well. And another habit that me personally I hate, even if other friends do it. You're going to a restaurant, you walk in, you're chewing gum, right? Now you're ready to eat. Where am I gonna
Then
put
they
my
stick it
gum?
under the table, or
and then
the-
some people are
the
sticking
tissue?
it under the table, and then, oh, can I get tissue? Now you have a tissue with gum,
in it.
So just all of these things, you just try to, even though it's not that serious when you go to a restaurant, it's just simple things to just be considerate about. Just think about it, like, okay,
So if
Let
you
me-
think, let's say I have like soup running down my face or something, my mouth, do I use this and then call for another one?
No, so what you can do is restaurants always have napkins that are not cloth napkins available,
ask
So
for
you're able to say, oh, can I have a napkin? Can I have a tissue?
Sometimes they would
where-
even have it as part
yeah,
of it.
they'll even, and if you feel like you might need, if you're someone that might need these things, as soon as you sit down, you can request, can I have a stack of some napkins?
Yeah.
So you have it at the table, for things like that.
How important is a fine dining experience for relationships, not just couples, but even the family? Because I think some families do it at least once a month,
Yes, so yes, we do have families that come into Gastro that want their kids to experience the fine dine. They probably don't care. They're usually just running around doing whatever. But it's important. I mean, maybe not everyone is able to afford these kind of things, but trust me, fine dining is not about the price.
Say that again.
Really, fine dining is not about the pricing. Fine dining is really just about how well you're presenting everything, how great is the service. You don't need money to give good service.
Yeah.
You just, it's who you are. You don't need money to give great food. Fine dining should be really more about how great is the food, how great is the service. So with a little bit of money, someone can get a fine dining, even at home.
Yeah.
Get your own things, fork, knife,
Right.
set it up.
Get the kids involved.
Get your practice at home before you go out, so that when you go out, you're a little bit more comfortable. Because I think people are intimidated
By the whole
sometimes
thing.
to go to certain restaurants
And
because they
talk
feel
to us about that, because sometimes we see a place like Gastro, like, but then you
No,
go
and-
inside and you're like, even if I have 50 cities, I can afford something nice and
you
be
shouldn't
good.
be. You shouldn't be. And nowadays the great thing is you have restaurants that have their menus
Online
online
and everything, so you can
or
check
you
it
can
out.
even call and have them send. Like we have people call Gastro all the time. We send it to their WhatsApp or whatever. You can take a look at the menu before
see
you
what
get
you
there,
want,
so you
yeah.
can say, okay, I'll pick this, I'll pick that. I can afford this, I can afford that, or whatever. But it shouldn't be intimidating. Even some people come there and they feel like they have to dress a certain way. Yes, there are certain restaurants that I know of that require you to look a certain way. There are restaurants in the US that I know that require all men to have suits, blazers. You're not able to go in without. And if you come without one, they will
want you-
provide one
Oh,
for
wow,
you.
nice.
Yeah, they have some at the door that they will give you, but you're not allowed to sit in their dining room without a suit on. There are restaurants like that. But you're not going to these kind of restaurants every night of your life.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't feel intimidated to go to, a nice restaurant or, something that's fine dine. And you shouldn't feel like I have to look like I'm going to meet the queen or something, Just look appropriate. You yourself should just think, what's appropriate to
And dress
go
comfortably
out
too,
comfortably.
so you can eat the food and enjoy it.
And just eat. What actually really sparked this whole restaurant dining thing is I recently saw on social media there was a talk about there are some restaurants where you go, they give complimentary bread.
Oh, yes.
Right?
I usually finish the bread and I'm not hungry for the food.
Exactly.
And my friend is like, what's the point of bringing you to this expensive place if you're not going to eat the food?
Yeah, so someone
Is there
mentioned...
anything wrong with that?
Oh, if they bring the bread to the food and you eat it right away, that's embarrassing.
No, I do that all the time. Because I like my bread hot.
Yeah. They felt that means you were hungry, or that means, but I'm like...
That's why I came, I'm hungry.
It's bread, it's warm.
But what advice would you give people like me, who by the time the food is here, I've already eaten all the bread?
Yeah, so see, this is like control. I'm the same way. Especially if you come across really good bread, it's warm, there's butter. Why not? But then, you got to think about it.
Chef Mami, we got to continue this conversation.
Yes.
Where do we follow you on social media? Where do we find Gastro? Because this is the best lamb I've had in my life. Like, I didn't want to talk, I just wanted to finish.
Thank you. So Gastro is located in East Legon on Jungle Avenue. We are on Instagram at Gastro_. We're also on Facebook at Gastro. You can also go to our website, gastro.com, or you can also follow Chef Mame _ on Instagram.
Thanks, Chef Mame. We're going to continue this conversation because I feel like there has to be a part two. Maybe we'll do it from Gastro this time.
Yes, of course.